Welcome to the CEO Launch Podcast.
We are a dynamic mother-daughter duo bringing you personality, insights, and practical advice from two different generations of entrepreneurship.
We aren't just mother and daughter. We are also best friends and business partners.
I've watched my mom help thousands of entrepreneurs start the businesses of their dreams, including me. And now it's your turn. Hello, CEO Launch family. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We are on episode 23 and we're super excited. Last week, we talked about the influences that having a mother who was a small business owner had on my life. And this week, we're going to talk about how to define success for yourself. What does success look like for you? And so my girl, my best friend, my mama got a nice little story to tell us to kind of kick it off. Go ahead, girl.
Thank you, boo. Let me take you back in Kenya's words. No, so we're going to go back to when she was in high school, her senior year in high school. The summer before her senior year in high school was extremely transitional for us. I was getting divorced for a second time, and I had some transitions in the office that year. I think the couple of months before that, I had let some employees go. It was just a lot. So it was a lot of stuff going on, and I made a conscious decision that I was going to scale my business back because managing people, I had 2 offices, managing all of that stuff, it was just a lot. So I scaled it back, and it was for 2 reasons. One, for my own sanity, because I was going crazy. And then the other part of it was Kenya's last year at home. It was her last year before she went to college, and I wanted to make sure that we spent as much time together as possible. And I wanted to make sure you were prepared for college, and I think you were.
I think so. I think I did all right.
Yeah, you did all right. But in that decision to scale back, think about what it would be like to build your business to a certain level. So I was making 6 figures. I had multiple offices. I had multiple employees. And then I just said, you know what? I need to hit the pause button. And not only did I hit the pause button, I actually took out the scissors and I cut some stuff. I cut services, I cut clients, and of course I cut expenses too in the business because that's what I needed at that point. And I was just grateful that I had the ability to do that. I can imagine people who were going through similar things and not being able to do that. And so for me, that was a successful moment. You know, I made less money those couple of years. I made the least amount, it was like going back to not necessarily the beginning stages, but definitely not 6 figures. But that was success for me at that moment. And so I think that when we think about defining success for ourselves, sometimes we have to make tough decisions and sometimes we have to just reprioritize things in our life.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think success looks different for everybody. I recently did a career planning workshop and we went through these different career progression ideas. And a lot of times people think that the only way that you can be successful and progress in your career is if you go up. It's been ingrained in us that the ladder mindset is what is important. Like you need to go up and you need to climb higher and higher and higher. And I informed the attendees that that's not the case. There are a number of different ways that you can be successful in your career. You might want to be an expert. And if you're going to be an expert, then you're going to have a lot more lateral positions than you are going to have upward positions. Everybody don't want to be a manager. Everybody doesn't want to be a CEO. Even with talking about entrepreneurship, everybody doesn't want to own a business.
And there's no right way.
Yeah, it's no right way to do that. Everybody has to play their role. And I think it's super important for us not to get bogged down by thinking that success is the thing that the commercials and social media and all of these different mediums tell us that it is, because it's not. I can 100% agree. I feel super successful kind of now that I've started school. We have the business, we have work, and I am finally kind of in a place after 8 weeks of chaos where I have free time.
It's 30 minutes.
Yeah, but it's free time. I could take some time to just kind of sit and drink tea and watch a show and not feel guilty about it. And those types of things make me feel successful because it's telling me that I'm balancing the things that I need to balance in my life well, that I'm making time for everybody, that I can call you in the middle of the day and kind of tell you like, hey girl, this is what happened. What you think about this? Or guess what? And I can call my person whenever we need to talk and just have those types of conversations, because it gives me freedom. And for me, success is freedom. It's not money. It's about having the freedom to kind of do different things.
And say no to things.
Yes.
I remember a couple of months ago, a while back, I had applied for this adjunct position. And a couple of months ago, I heard back from I applied for a bunch of adjunct positions because I was in this whole, I'm going to be an adjunct and I'm just going to teach and all this. I like teaching. So I applied for this adjunct position. I forgot about it. I forgot that I applied. I think I applied like in December or something. And they called, and the person who reached out to me was not nice. Was like, hey, we're interviewing for this position tomorrow. Are you available? And it's like, no, girl, I'm not available tomorrow. Are you crazy? Mm-hmm. She kind of had this attitude. Well, if you can't do it tomorrow, I'm being facetious, first of all. It wasn't tomorrow, but it was a real short time.
A quick turnaround.
She was like, if you can't do it then, oh well. And I said, okay. Like, sis, I'm not broke.
I don't need this job.
Seriously, when I teach, I don't teach for the money. The school that I teach at right now, my paycheck goes to my savings account. It's not even in my budget. So success is being able to kind of do those things, like say no to some things and recognize like, yeah, that's not for me.
And for you all, as you're listening, don't get bogged down or get trapped in other people's idea of what success looks like. I think one of my things is I'll talk to different people and, everybody's kind of doing coaching in one way or another sometimes. And one of my pet peeves about coaching is a lot of times people will coach with the mindset of you have to do exactly what I did and do what I did and do it the way that I want you to do it in order for this to be successful. And that's not good coaching to me. Good coaching is we talk about the outcomes that I want out of it. We make a plan to get there and you kind of give me some direction and guidance on how to get there, the support and the accountability to make sure that I stay the course, and the redirection when things don't go the way that I want it to go. But me following your 5-step module or your 6 steps to making sure that I get 6 figures, whatever, that's not real. That's not real coaching. That's not good business. And it's not helpful.
Y'all got to go back and listen to that episode.
Yeah, you got to go back and listen to that episode. If you ain't get it, you got to be a part of the fam. It doesn't set you up in the right ways. It definitely keeps you behind. So you want to make sure that your idea of success is your idea of success.
Right. And it's not what you see on social media. It's not what you see other people doing, because everybody is showing their highlight reel. Nobody ain't showing their messy behind bedroom or the shower that need to be cleaned or the dishes that's not washed. No, they're showing the kitchen when it's clean and, all those kinds of things. And so you want to make sure that you define success for yourself. And so I'm ready to jump to the takeaways.
We can go right ahead. Let's go.
Let's do it. So we've already said the first one, that success does not always mean more money. Now listen to me, hear me good when I say this. Yes, I'm not saying that money is not good. I'm not saying that making more money shouldn't be your goal. All I'm saying is that success is not always money. So in the story that I shared before, my version of success at that period in my life was making less money, because at that time, making less money meant that I had more time to do the things that I wanted to do with my kid. So it's not always money. Money is good. Let's make it.
And I think for me, a piece of that takeaway is like, I always feel like money makes me feel good because, money is a resource and we need it for a number of different things. And you can get more things when you have more money. But success to me feels like when I feel good after I do something. Matter of fact, the other day I had a team meeting for my day job. We had this great team meeting, and I promise you, the thing that made me feel good and successful about the meeting was not that we did all the objectives and crossed everything off. We did do that. but it was the end of the meeting where we were still having conversation and communing with one another and being like, wow, I'm really connecting with you all. And I really like the conversation that we're having and the places that we could go. That felt successful. I felt that I was successful in hiring. I felt that I was successful in putting my matches and my pairs together. And I felt that I was successfully leading because I had created a space where the people that are under me and my subordinates or whatever the roles are that you want to call that, felt comfortable enough to kind of come as themselves into the space that I created. That made me feel good. That was better than a bonus. I mean, a bonus would be nice on top of that. But, that felt good. And I think that goes to the second part, our second takeaway, that success is individualized. It's about you. It is literally about you and figuring out the things that make you feel good, the things that are going to make you feel like, wow, I really did something in life. In one of the courses that I took, it was a career development course, and they had us write our eulogy. And it's a little macabre, a little dark, a little twisty. I'll admit that, a tad bit morbid, but it made me think about, when I die, what do I want people to say about me?
Exactly. You want the truth now, because people lie at funerals.
Right, they do. And it's like, what do I want my testimonials to be when people kind of sit up and talk about the different ways that they knew me? And thinking about that made me realize that at my funeral, I don't want somebody to be like, and she was a millionaire.
She had 8 houses and 10 cars.
Yeah, she had a Tesla. Those are not going to be the things that I want people to say about me. I want them to say, she was so funny. She could tell a story. That's one thing about her. She could throw a party, and she was loved. She was loved and adored by everybody that knew her. Those are the things that I want. So it's like success. You got to think about the end when it comes to success and figuring out, what do I want people to think about me when this is all said and done? And that's what you work towards.
That's good stuff. So last takeaway, you have to run at your own pace. And so I remember one time I had a client come into my office. This was back when I had multiple offices and I was doing that crazy stuff. And I was meeting with this person in person to prepare her taxes, and we were going through some things, and I'm asking her questions and kind of helping her through some stuff. And she got really sad in the office because she said, I'm 30 years old and I don't have this, I don't have that, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. And I had to remind her that your race is yours. Don't compare yourself to other people, because everybody doesn't have the same hand. Everybody doesn't have the same opportunities. Everybody doesn't have the same access, the same abilities. And so we have to make sure that as we are running our race, that we're running it at our own pace, right? And so there is no meter that you got to measure it up and say, at 30 years old, you should have these things. And by 35, you should have these things. If you get married at 60 for the first time, girl, do that thing. Have that wedding. Do it. We got to stop that.
Yeah. Comparison is a thief of joy. I mean, honestly, if we want to get deep, time is a social construct. So it's not even real. There's no reason that you need to put yourself in these boxes of this needs to happen by when. Like now, when I say goals, there are very few things that I actually put time limits on. I know everybody is like SMART goals and all of that stuff. And it's very few things that I do that because I find myself progressively working towards the goals that I wanted to do anyway. I just make sure that I visualize them. So if I said I wanted to join a professional organization, it's around me. It's around me and all of my 15,000 whiteboards. If you don't know, I have a lot of whiteboards.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next episode.
Yeah, they're perfect. And so it's around me. And because I'm surrounded by that idea and I'm constantly manifesting that in my actions, I don't necessarily feel the need to join a professional organization by February. That's not the type of pressure that I feel. I want to be a part of something that's going to be genuine and go back to that individualized feeling of success. And like I said, for me, success is freedom. So I want to be in a space where it's not stuffy and corporate and all of that stuff, because that's not me. That's not how I fly. If y'all haven't gathered that from these last 23 episodes. It's so detrimental to ourselves to put ourselves in other people's boxes. It's just not fair. And to put ourselves on these timelines that aren't realistic, because you just never know. You might want something. Let's say you wanted something by this Thursday, and it's like, I need to have this done by this Thursday. And then Friday, you get a whole new idea for a completely different concept or something new to bring it up. And it takes away from the fruitfulness of what could be when you put yourself in those constraints.
Yeah, so let's not do it. So hopefully these takeaways are things that you will be able to apply to your daily life. Thanks, guys, so much for being here with us. We always enjoy our time with you. If you haven't already, join our online community, The Efficient CEO Movement on Facebook. You are welcome. And we'll see you next week.
And don't forget to take off.
This is a Clearwood production.